So I'm a big Marvel fan, and I was not always one, but my husband got me into it. So yesterday we went and saw Dark Phoenix, which is the latest movie in the X-Men saga. And for those of you who want to see the movie and haven't seen it yet, I promise this video will contain no spoilers. Those of you who are not interested in seeing it and are not nerds like me, I promise I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of details on this movie. But, so Dark Phoenix, her name is Jean Grey, the character in the movie. And one of the things that happens in the movie is that she has this immense power that she has a hard time controlling, to the point that she ends up killing someone that she loves. She ends up just being incredibly destructive. And the thing that stood out to me in this movie was the fact that Jean Grey was so destructive as Phoenix because she couldn't control her thoughts and she couldn't control her emotions. So by the way, if you are watching me live right now, be sure to say hello in the comments. And if you're watching this later on replay, just use hashtag replay so that I can come back and say hello to you later. So again, she's so destructive because she can't control her emotions. She can't control her thoughts. And this is often the thing that destroys our own hopes and dreams and our aspirations in our own lives, especially when it comes to being single and trying to find that happy, fulfilling relationship with a cherished partner. This inability to control our thoughts and emotions. 2 Corinthians talks about taking every thought captive, being able to demolish arguments, being able to take these thoughts captive and interrogate them and see where they come from. And we don't do that often enough. We instead tend to let these thoughts captivate us, these emotions captivate us. For example, when you want to be in a cherished relationship, you want to get married, you want to start the family, you want the man who is going to cherish you and adore you, and you say that you are sticking to that. You say that you are trusting and believing in God. You say that you are willing to wait, but then loneliness sets in. So you let that emotion of loneliness take over you, and instead you settle for the first man that comes along, even if that man is not the greatest option for you, even if that man is not even a good option for you. And then you wonder how it is that you end up in relationships in which the man cheats, or the man is neglectful, or the man is abusive. You wonder how you end up in these relationships in which you truly aren't cherished. But this happens because you let one emotion, loneliness, take over you, and you decided to settle for someone just to say that you have someone. Or you let another emotion take over you, fear. Fear that everything was over with if you don't get married by a certain age, that you're not going to be able to have kids if you don't get married by a certain age. Fear that all the good ones are taken. Fear that the older you get, the lower your prospects get, which honestly is not at all true. I just had a client who's in her 40s get married to a great man, so I know for a fact that older women, whatever it is that you consider to be older, whether that's 40s, 50s, 60s, I know some women who consider 30s, and I have a 3 in the front of my age to be older, but whatever you consider that is not true. You can find great men in your age bracket, or a little older or a little younger, but either way they are out there. So you let this loneliness set in, you let this fear set in, and you decide to settle. So maybe you end up securing a ring, but not with a man who is truly going to cherish you. Not with a man who is going to be that purpose partner, that one who lifts you up and encourages you and supports you and allows you to fulfill the purpose that God has for you. And guys, excuse my voice today. I'm recovering from a cold, but yeah, you don't allow God to send the man who truly is your purpose partner. You'd rather just settle for what's right in front of you right now. Or you don't take these thoughts captive. You don't control the thoughts that you have. How often do you let thoughts like this play in your mind? I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not thin enough. Or I'm too thin and I don't have enough curves. Or I don't come from a great family. Or all the women in my family, hey Christine, all the women in my family are single mothers, so that's my destiny too. I'm not accomplished enough. I'm not fun enough. I'm not entertaining enough for a man to be interested in me. You have all of these thoughts, not just in your relationships. I see women deal with this in business and career too. Again, with I'm not smart enough, or I don't have enough connections, or I don't have enough skills. You let these thoughts captivate you instead of taking captive of these thoughts. And because these thoughts captivate you, they completely consume you. They take over your mind. It is a really bad movie playing in your head over and over and over again. And because you allow these thoughts to continue playing in your head, you play small. You settle for less than what you deserve. You decide that being in an okay relationship is fine with you because at least it's a relationship, instead of actually pursuing a great one. You decide that okay jobs, okay careers are fine with you instead of pursuing great ones. You allow your entire life to be mediocre. You allow yourself to spend your entire life wondering, what if I had taken this step? What if I had been willing to talk to this guy who seemed interested in me, but no, instead I settled for trash? You live a life full of what ifs and regrets and frankly bitterness because, again, you allow thoughts to captivate you instead of you taking these thoughts captive. We can't control everything that happens in our lives. And we can't control the occasional negative thought from coming into our minds. It happens. You can be the most positive person in the world, but you live on earth. You're going to find yourself around people who are negative. You're occasionally going to hear a song on the radio that is trash and talks about negative things. You're going to see a TV show that's full of drama or a movie that's full of drama. Negative thoughts are going to come into your head. It's going to happen. The problem is you have not set yourself up to be prepared for that. You have not learned to take these thoughts captive because it happens to all of us. It happens to me sometimes. I definitely have those thoughts. I woke up this morning with a bad hair day, and I looked in the mirror and had that thought of, oh, I'm not pretty enough. And then I know how to take those thoughts captive. I know how to be like, wait a second, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I was created unique. I was created with a purpose. My hair is my glory. God didn't give me curly hair by mistake. I know how to take those thoughts captive. I know how to push them aside like the trash that they are, and how to move on as a confident woman and a cherished woman. Do you know how to do those things? Because if not, you are sentencing yourself to a life of mediocrity. You are sentencing yourself to a life of bitterness. And if you're single, you're sentencing yourself to a life of remaining single because you're going to talk yourself out of pursuing any relationship. You're going to get in relationships and you're going to let these thoughts take over your mind, and you're going to find ways to sabotage every relationship that you enter into. You're going to find yourself lonely because you're not only going to sabotage your romantic relationships, you're going to sabotage all of your relationships, frankly. You're going to find yourself living below what it is that God has for you, what it is that God purposed for you. You're going to find yourself in a situation where at the end of your life, you're going to realize that there are all these things that you could have done, all these things that you could have accomplished, all this happiness and all this love that you could have invited into your life, but you let these thoughts take you prisoner. And because you let these thoughts take you prisoner and captivate you, you threw all of that away. Learn how to take your thoughts captive. That is all they are, thoughts. You can change those thoughts. You can change your mindset. You can shift how you see yourself. And when you shift how you see yourself, everyone else will see you differently as well. That is when you become your most attractive. That is when you truly step into what it means to be a cherished woman. That is when you attract quality men, not trash. That is when, I am sorry, my phone's getting low. That is when you allow yourself to be open to all the abundance that God has for you.